Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, amazing viewers. Today's reading, I am super excited to deliver. We're looking at what's in store for you guys energetically for the month of January coming up. Now, all my readings are timeless, meaning whenever you click on the video, the reading was meant to find you. Okay, so this could be for the month ahead whenever you're clicking on the video, although this reading does line up at the time of the posting with the new moon for December 30th. So not only is it a new moon, it'll be a new month and a new year that we're coming into. So lots of new energy pulling through here, and we want to pull the main theme or highlight for the month ahead for you guys energetically. Okay, so I have pre-shuffled oracle cards. As usual, we'll go through the card layout for those of you guys developing your intuition, and for those of you guys wanting to go straight away to your reading, you can do so. Now, this is a pick a pile or pick a card reading. We have 3 options to choose from, which I'll hold up for you guys shortly, but let's get into the decks we'll be using first, and then we'll be going into the disclaimer for those of you guys who are here for the first time or new to tarot. So for the decks, you guys feel free to pause the video. And finally, for the tarot, we'll be using 1 pack, the Cosmic Slumber Tarot for all 3 piles. Now, as you guys can see, this reading does involve a lot of cards, so I don't include all of the shuffle on video because it'd be very long to upload, although I have not looked at any of the cards, and my question solely to Divine was in regards to the month ahead, okay, for January and the energy coming in. Now for the disclaimer, beautiful people, if you are new to tarot, okay, tarot is not predict your future. It is not a prediction of what's to happen based on just a communication to you. This is actually something that is mirroring back to you, your state of energy. So energy sits in a frequency, and you can be tapped into any energy frequency. It's really up to you to dictate. Okay, so this isn't set in stone telling you what's coming in for you. This is reading your current state of energy and then mirroring back to you sort of where you're headed, or the projection of where this is going based on your own energy. But you have free will and choice to do what you need. So if you are using my tarot to predict for yourself some sort of future state, then you're not using my messaging correctly here. Okay, and if you're in some perpetual state of tarot sort of addiction, then you're certainly not using my tarot properly as well. This channel is certainly intended for those of you guys looking to ascend, heal, connect with the divine, and use your own intuition in order to develop this. Okay, I don't want to keep you dependent on my channel, nor do I want you to be dependent on anyone to be the intermediator between you and the divine. That is always in your hands, and if you're like me, then you probably can't read your own tarot, because tarot is sometimes difficult to read for ourselves if we're have our own shadows and we have our own blind spots and our own sort of projections that we're not seeing through. And so it's absolutely fine to use tarot as a form to connect with the divine, as a spiritual practice. There's no shame in this, okay? But if we are solely relying on someone else to dictate our future, then this means that we are in a state of cognitive dissonance, and I do not want to enable that state, okay? I'm here to provide you with as much tools as you can to empower yourself to be conscious and be awake to the divine essence that is housed within you. Only you can do that. I can only point to the signs and hope and cross my fingers that you walk to that direction, okay? But solely up to you. And I do love that all of you guys are here, but this reading isn't necessarily for everyone. So I do believe if you clicked on this reading, then the message was meant to find you at the right time, although sometimes our intuition's completely off or not ready to hear that energy. So it could be our energy frequency in the future, and so our state of consciousness, it just doesn't absorb that messaging, okay? It doesn't understand that frequency. So you can come back to this reading and maybe it makes sense, okay? But don't force messages to fit. It is something that will resonate and make sense. It shouldn't be something that is completely brand new or shocking, surprising. That means that message is someone else's pile, okay? So this reflects back to you a state of consciousness that you intuitively already resonate with and connect with here, okay? So that's how I intend on this being delivered. And if for those of you guys who are confused or left with more questions than answers, then like I say, it might not be your pile. You can go click on a different one, or it might not be your reading, or I might not be your reader, because I'm only tapped into a certain amount of energy frequency. There's so many different ones, okay? So hopefully you can find a reader that is on point with your energy here, okay? And it doesn't have to be me, although I do hope that I can resonate for you with this messaging, okay? And messages do come through as they do. I'm channeling energy and I'm reading cards. This has nothing to do with Linda's opinion or what I think, okay? I leave all of that sort of on the sidelines. If I do interject with any of my opinions, I will state as such, but it is me channeling the divine exactly as it's coming out. And so that has nothing to do with me. It's completely divine. If you have an issue with it or question, take that up with the divine. Okay, all opinions are certainly welcome in the comments to help with the algorithm, but that doesn't mean that I really give two rats behind whether you're challenged or not. That's not my place to do so. Okay, so you can go ahead and, talk to the divine, take it up with the divine, or just maybe it's something that you're not prepared to hear, okay? So don't force anything, especially things in the shadow, things in the subconscious. They're not always ready to come out, and so if we're forcing things to come out when they're not ready, it could be scary, it could be challenging, it could be that we don't want to see it. And so this is where, healing pushes us outside of our comfort zone. And so if you feel uncomfortable, then chances are there is some form of healing potentially taking place. Okay, but if you feel like confused or you don't understand, or it's just like something that is potentially brand new to you and you're just like not even understanding what's coming out, then that's not something you have to work with, nor do you have to take that message. It's not for you, okay? And so I'm not keeping you here hostage. You're free to do whatever you like. This is solely, like I say, just something that is helping you to overcome, push yourself outside of maybe the state in which you're at for consciousness, so that you can ascend and become the best version of yourself, okay? So, beautiful angels, we have 3 options to choose from today. We have the blue feathers. Oh, this side is very beautiful. Let's leave it on this side. And we have the yellow feathers. This side does look beautiful. I must have put them all sort of reverse here. And the red feathers. I don't know, these sides both look beautiful. We'll leave it like that. Okay, so let me make sure I'm in frame. Gorgeous. They kind of look like dusters. Maybe we're dusting off a lot of our stagnant energy for the month ahead. Beautiful angels, I'll leave this here. I'll be silent and I'll let it run for a while so that you don't have to see those bars at the bottom. Sit with your intuition, and when you're pulled to a pile or to a feather duster here, then I will put the timestamp in the put the timestamps in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It will take you directly to your pick. If you resonate with multiple piles, absolutely fine. Could be multiple aspects of a situation pulling through, energy around you, people around you, circumstances around you. Okay, but only if you're called and pulled to multiple piles, it's absolutely fine. All right, I will see you at your pick. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pick number one. You guys picked the blue. I call it the feather duster. Isn't that beautiful? I'm like obsessed with peacocks, so this certainly reminds me of a peacock. Beautiful, very beautiful. I can't wait to get into your reading, pile number one. So I pre-shuffled the oracle cards and I've not looked at them, but my question to the divine was very simple. And it was really, what's happening for you guys in the upcoming month of January? Okay, so again, timeless reading. Whenever you click on this video, the message was meant to find you. It could just be the month ahead. It doesn't have to be January if you're watching this 6 months out, a year out. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Although I am recording at the time of the new moon. New moon's happening December 30th. We're going into a new year. And then, of course, the month of January, which is right around the corner. So we're looking at this new energy where you're sort of headed based on the energy state that you're at right now. Okay, so nothing set in stone. You can always change the course of your energy based on free will, okay? And of course, use your own intuition, whether this resonates for you or not. I cannot tell you what your intuition is knowing or understanding. That's solely up to you. So we'll do the card layout, give you a chance to tap into that intuition. If you feel you've already developed your intuition, you could go straight away to the channeled message, okay? So let's begin. Pile number one. What's in store for you guys? Angel of Balance. Look at all this blue. Wow. So the angel is always protection, guidance, divine nature, divine guidance, okay, healing. That's what the angel brings here. So balance is definitely giving me temperance, which is healing energy. 48 could be a significant number. Okay, or the number 12, and we have work. This gives me 8 pentacle energy. Sitting down doing the work. It's kind of giving me a sewing table with the petals, but this guy doesn't have anything on the table, and it's also ping pong. Seems like a mishmash. Like there's play, there's like mending or putting something together, and then there's, I don't know, creating something from nothing. He has nothing, but there's dedication and conviction here, potentially, like actual physical putting our bum on the seat to get something done. Okay. And we have the veil, the beyond, the esoterica, and the subconscious. Well, you know, when we hear subconscious, Melinda's going to go into the esoteric reading. So the veil of forgetting, the veil of the ego, the veil of something that is in the way of us seeing the truth potentially. It says the beyond. So we'll see. I mean, I mentioned peacocks at the beginning. Peacocks are a symbol of expression, but also of the ego. So let's see. We have toadstools and growth, number 44. So 44 could be an age. Okay, could be significant, but that is a master number. And that is integrity as a foundation, treating the earth as home and a temple. It's also manifestation and leadership. 44 is the number 8, movement, change, attainment, strength, which is Leo energy, okay, and also the star, which is healing energy, which we were getting from the angel of balance. Stars about our wishes, attaining something that we want, a future state or a future vision of something that we held. Okay, so we have thunderbolt, number 14. No, 16, sorry. So 16 is the tower. Thunderbolt is sudden, which is tower energy. Okay, so sudden things could be pleasant, sudden things could be unexpectedly not what we want. So I'm not sure what tower energy is pulling through here, but there is an unexpected thing here that's pulling through that's very sudden. Yeah, almost like a genius idea. We see all these thunderbolts and the fire. So fire talks about passion, you know, giving life to something, potentially desire. Fire's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. And then we have turning in, number 4. So turning in would be hermit energy with reflecting, going inwards. See all this water, which is emotions. And 4 is the number of stability, structure, foundations, planning. It's emperor energy, divine masculine. And divine masculine is the type of energy that is fire because it's outward. Okay, so we have an inward and an outward happening here, turning in. And look at all these like ghost faces. So are we connecting with the spirit realm? We do have here the beyond and the esoterica. Okay, and then we have the dry, what is this? This is the planets. Okay, you have the planet of Mars, and Mars is the planet for Aries and Scorpio, which is the divine masculine energy. We were feeling emperor energy, being assertive, you know, that fire energy we were picking up. So the drive for, the confronting of, and then action with Mars. Wow, okay, yeah, strong Aries energy pulling through. And we have the snake and more healing. So we had healing pulling through, and I think we also had, yeah, healing with the number 8 here with the star energy. So snakes shedding the old skin, to be reborn. Snakes about wisdom. Okay, and then we have this oracle card, which looks like someone laying out these cards. Pieces of paper, maybe playing a game. Remember, I got ping pong from this, which is sort of a tabletop game here. Cards are a tabletop game. Tabletop game. Putting everything out on the table here. Okay, interesting. I'm getting the game of memory coming through, you know, when you lay all the cards and then you flip them and you try to match them up. Okay, that's interesting that pulled through. We have ancestor of protection, which we were getting from the angel again, right? Healing, protection, divine guidance. Ancestor of protection. Did I say angel of protection? Ancestor protection. Okay, and strength, which we got from the number 8. That's Leo energy, but look at all this blue. And even the angel was blue. So blue is the self-expression because that's throat chakra energy. Wow, and even the cards here are blue that we're laying on the table. We're expressing something, putting something on the table here. The emotions. Okay, and then we have keep going. It may feel as though you've been on this path or journey for so long, and you may even wonder if you're making any progress towards your dreams. That's the star energy. This message is a loving reminder for you to keep going. You're almost there. Wow. Okay, well, we see the stairs of ascension. So we're headed someplace through maybe courage, which is requiring us to do a lot of healing, potentially on our emotions or on ourselves. And here we have the net caster. Preparations come to fruition. Wow, 42. 42, or the number 6. So she's casting this net. We see a seahorse. Seahorses mate for life. I see one seahorse here. What's this here? I don't know what that is. It's a very bright energy. Preparations come to fruition. We've been working on something for quite some time. And then we have dust, devil, moving out of stagnation. 15 is the devil number. It's also 6, and we got 6 here with, which one? Thought we had 6. Yeah, here. So 6 is lovers is a choice. Lovers could be a destined partner, a destined path. We're at a crossroads of sorts. We need to move in one direction. Okay, so I am going to pull some tarot because I feel we can lay this out and then we will get into your reading. Put that there and move this over here. Okay. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1 in regards to the month of January, the upcoming new moon energy that aligns here with the new month. What is coming in for pile 1? New energy. What's going to happen in the upcoming month for pile 1? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much, spirits. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Thank you so much. We have the Hermit in reverse. So we're getting Hermit energy, but yet fire. So I might be coming out of something here. 9 of Wands, which is 9 of Torches here. We have the 3 Swords. More healing energy pulling through here with the 3 Swords. Why is this 9 of Wands here, Spirit? Strength in reverse. We have Strength showing up here, Leo energy. Also, ego pulls through with the peacock energy we're feeling with the feathers there. And this could be a shedding of some sort of egoic belief, removing veil of some understanding. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So yeah, dropping some sort of energy here. I do feel potentially we have more here. So that's Aries, Leo, Sag. We have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And we have 2 Swords, Crossroads, 7 Pentacles. Okay, 7 Pentacles. Interesting. Okie dokie. Let's do this. Okay, give me a minute here to sit with this energy. You guys can click straight away to the channeled reading. Pile 1, this could be your energy, someone around you. Take it as it resonates, okay? So I will read this as your energy. I feel you've been working on a part of yourself, an aspect of yourself for quite some time, okay? And it's been very, very difficult. And so this will already resonate for you. If this is new to you, then this is not your pile, but it could be someone around you that's been trying to develop themselves, okay? But I'm going to read it as your energy. So this person is doing a lot of healing when it comes to a certain aspect of themselves with their emotions. I feel this person's been removed, reflecting, and I feel like there was a lot, and might still be some unhealed voices dictating this person's state of being because of a past pain, okay? And I feel like it's built on each other, meaning I have a belief of something here that's been difficult for me to overcome, and then I start getting in my own way with more beliefs that I can't do what it is that I really want to do, because there's a star energy here of a vision of something that you really, 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 really want. I think you really, really, really wanted this for some time. And I think you've really, really been trying to put in some form of energy as best you can. Although I feel there's a mishmash here. Okay, and I don't know if you sat through the card layout, but this card gave me 8 Pentacles mishmash. I saw ping pong, and I saw someone working at a desktop like they were typing on a computer without any sort of anything there. There's nothing there, and then they're sewing or mending or putting something together with the petals. What's going on here? I don't know. All I know is that this person has some form of conviction, and they're dedicating themselves, although they don't know how to dedicate themselves. Is one play? Is one like actually producing something? Is one putting something together? And I feel like the intention was good. You know, the intention was always there, but I think there was a mishmash of putting focused sort of energy or direct energy into an area that would pay it forward or would develop into something. So I feel like maybe it could have been because we had to mend and heal certain parts, and so we'd get stagnant, or we would come across or butt our heads up against an obstacle within ourselves that we couldn't overcome, or a voice would come back in online. And so we felt like no matter what we were doing, maybe we were doing circles or feeling stuck, or we couldn't produce. And there is something here about like a game, you know, but I feel like the game is we weren't there's an energy, and I got to put it into words, and it's hard for me to explain. It's like there's a disconnect here, you know, because I feel like there's something very serious about what you're wanting to attain, but it's like we couldn't get past a surface level or a game, you know, or like playing games in some way. But I don't feel you were playing games, but I feel like maybe it was playing a game at a table where there needed to be something more than just play game, like if that makes any sense. And the fact that I got memory, the game of memory with the cards for me, is like something of the past, a voice, an idea, a belief that I held on to because of a past experience that needed to be healed within me, prevented me from doing something that I really wanted to do, no matter how much I tried. So I felt there was a stagnation. I felt there's a devil energy. And I feel like there was massive need to heal and grow through a period of time that's been happening here and has been happening. But I feel like there is something very sudden here in January. And I think all of this work is coming to fruition. There's putting some sort of assertive action type energy towards the thing that I feel you've been wanting to establish or move towards here. And I feel you haven't given up, but I feel like we've been stagnant for so long because we couldn't get past a certain layer. And really, I think we were getting in our own way, or the trauma or the voice that kept us hurt was getting in the way of this. So I feel like there was a need to really dig in deep inwards, to sit with some unpleasant emotion potentially, you know, and then shed the false self or the story we told ourselves or the belief that we had. We identified with that. We have to break the identification. Okay, so whatever understanding we had, we're no longer identifying as that thing. And so that liberates us, that allows us to be more free. So we come out of this sort of state of pulled away, hibernation, reflection, you know, like hermits really removed from the world. And so I feel like there's a coming back online, and it is sudden here, and maybe it even takes you by surprise or is very sudden, because I think the results and the response you get, or the results of you doing this, I think is unexpected for you, because it's very aligned with something here that maybe shocks you, you know, but it's well deserved, because I do feel like you've been trying to heal and work and go through a process that has been quite challenging. But I think the real challenge has been tapping into an authentic expression of emotions, getting past the pain. And so we were held hostage for some time, and we might have not realized where to pull the strength from, and we might have not have seen it as something that was within us to overcome, or to find some form of courage to face, because I feel we were floundering or looking in the wrong area or direction. And so there's this shedding of the old version of self and seeing through the illusion we created of a story we told us that this is who we are, or how we have to be. And so I feel like our confidence was tied to that. Our ability to make shit happen was tied to that. And so we might have experienced a lot of loss, you know, or something falling apart, or seeing something slip through our fingers, or like having a fear that something would slip through our fingers, or being a part of something that we just couldn't gather, you know. And so there's this mending of something, putting it all together and releasing the thing that is not helpful in this new form of yourself. I don't think we're there by any means, but I think we've overcome the big hurdle. The big hurdle was the stagnation. We broke the chains of the devil, which is always identified as the ego. You can call it whatever you will. Okay, we identify and we're attached to this, which creates suffering in my life. Because when we're attached and we identify, that is how we suffer. And so the suffering here was as a result of the devil. Okay, and only when we see through the illusion that we create and upkeep the devil based on our understanding and our beliefs, we give it conviction here. And so there's generally 3 areas, okay, that this ego is going to sort of get you stuck. And the ego does this not because it hates you. It does this to sort of protect you, or it thinks it's protecting you. But it's going to either try to attach to something in order to save itself because it needs to attain, or it creates resistance and it avoids. And there's an aversion to something. Only those two sort of areas the ego can be in. But there's 3 things that you'll know when you're in ego, which always comes down to separation consciousness, meaning I am separate from the universe. When we believe in lack, okay, and lack is I'm missing love, or I don't have this, or this was taken from me. I lack this thing. Okay, that's separation consciousness. We are not lacking anything. And so when we feel that, we have a core belief that we're not whole and complete, and that something out there is going to fulfill us. So as long as we're attached to that belief, we suffer. Okay, and then the second belief here is fear. And so the fear is always where we think we are controlling some form of outcome. Okay, like so we have, and fear comes in many different forms. Anxiety, it could come in, I don't know, it comes in many different forms here, okay? And this could be because we're really attached to some idea that we want to produce. And so when the universe is rolling out what's coming, we think we're the doer. And so we start to get anxious and we start to feel all of this fear, but we have to surrender. So now we think we're separate from the universe. Again, separation consciousness. And the other one is anger. And anger is really, again, I am attached to the control here that I think I have. And really, we don't have control. Yes, we have free will to choose as the universe unfolds. But, like, do this. Are you actually doing this? You know how your tendons work and all the cells and how your brain responds. Like, no, you cannot possibly be that, I don't know, arrogant that you think you're actually doing this. The universe is doing this. And you're just sort of experiencing the universe as you do. You're one with the universe. So we have these 3 areas, okay? When we have fear, we have lack, and we have anger. And so whatever we were experiencing here was an egoic belief that we had to deconstruct. And so you can listen to the tarot reader tell you all day long that ego doesn't exist, but unless you go inwards and find where your belief is and detach from that belief, then it will forever keep you in bondage. Because on a conceptual level, you'll hear spiritually that we are all one, unity consciousness, you're whole and complete. But if you don't believe it on the core, you're always going to experience lack. And so when we feel the feeling of lack, how do we depolarize that energy? We depolarize it by giving it love. And we got to give more of that in which we feel we're lacking. Okay, so if we feel like we're lacking love, you must give more love. That's how the universe works. That's how energy works. The more you put out, the more you experience. Of course, if you're withholding, withdrawing, keeping to self, you're not going to experience. Okay, so that in which you feel you're lacking is a sign for you to give more of. And so I feel like there's an understanding here of where we were, I don't know, attached to some identity that was creating either lack, sadness through this lack, or some form of anger and some form of fear. Okay, and so there's overcoming this. And I feel like we're preparing to enjoy something here that's now putting us on the road to keep developing ourselves further down this state of whatever it is. So it's really about self, but also about this new discovery of thing that I feel you've been working on here, but have been feeling stagnant and stuck. Yeah. And so I feel like whatever happened in the past, because I do feel there was a past thing, and it was like a bad memory, or a memory that was keeping us stagnant in some way. And so I think we realize as long as we keep the past alive, then we're not in the present moment, and it's hindering my future state, because the present is all that matters. And so we're no longer playing in the past. We're no longer feeding the energy of the past story or the past version. So I feel like there's not only a burning of that energy away, or transmutation of that energy. We shed the old version, and we're now more centered and in tune with the reality of something that was veiled before, because we were only seeing the devil. We're only looking at the past. As long as we're looking at the past, we're looking at an illusion, because the past no longer exists. And so I feel like we kept looking through the veil, and the veil was perpetuating more voices, more pain, more belief stories and lack. And so I feel like your angels are really pulling through very heavy here in healing and protection to guide you through this new version of yourself, because I feel like it's new territory, and I feel like it hasn't produced for you the results of what I feel you absolutely deserve. But you had to come to the state of dropping the veil yourself, transmuting the ego yourself. And no one else could do this for you. And so I feel like you're at a crossroads, and now that you're awakened, or now that you come out of hibernation, you can make a decision. But it's like a conscious decision, because you're awake. And I feel like whatever, because we have the 10 Pentacles in reverse here, and this is Tower energy. I feel like there's a deconstruction of something that was in place, or that created your world for some time, that needed to fall apart, or there's an acceptance that this must come down in order for me to now have the choice to move towards the star, because the star is the future version of yourself that you want to be, or to attain, or to live in. But we can't get to the star if we're still hung up and pained by the story of the past and living in the past. Okay, because I feel like then we never create the thing we wanted to create, which I feel has more power for you than the thing that, I don't know, that you created back, you know, as a structure that would protect you, or as a world that kept you feeling secure. But the security here was one that was marinating in the pain, or marinating in the past experience. So we're going to ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of Pile 1. What's happening for Pile 1 in January, Spirit? Can we wrap up this message for Pile 1? What questions do they have in regards to what is happening for them in January? Clear and concise message. Anything I've missed? Any questions they might still have? So we have 7 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. Why is the 6 Pentacles here, Spirit? Ace of Swords in reverse. And finally, why is this 6 of Cups? King of Swords. And 5 Wands, which is 5 torches. And then the Magician, the Magus. Under that, 2 of Torches, 2 Wands in reverse. Okay. Virgo, Gemini, and Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Angels. The mishmash that I was feeling here is this 7 of Cups. We can't hone and aim and take focused target when one foot's in the past, and one voice is telling us one thing, and our desires is in another place, and our heart is pulling at another, and our mind's saying another. We had a mullet of energy going on, short on top, long in the back. Okay, it didn't match, and it was all over the place. And so I feel like there's a confusion here, but there's also a fantasy, a wish, and a star, and a vision. But it's like it's not enough to just see something we want it to be, you know, that's like many, 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 many miles away. It's like, how do we get there? And so there's a surrendering to the universe. And I feel like things are going to move. And it's not that the universe just decides, hey, let's move Pile 1 now. It's like, no, the universe starts to move because there is a clearer understanding where we were uncertain in passing energies of how to contribute in a practical way, energetically, or devote or dedicate ourselves in a way here that's going to offer energy to get something to move. Okay, I think we were unclear, we were uncertain, and certainly we weren't authentic about it because we were living in lack mindset, listening to the voice that said I wasn't good enough, or that said I needed this, that, and the other, or that kept up a story of hurt past self. So we didn't understand, or the thing we understood was an illusion of the devil. It was a version of ourself that wasn't true. And so therefore I can't stand in truth or take action on truth when I'm seeing through the falsity. The false self is the one seeing. So what do I contribute to? I keep contributing to a dead end, or I keep playing some game here that has no ending. Okay, and that's kind of where you were stuck. And I feel this was a stagnation or a devil. So person, place, thing of the past. This is like our childhood. This also can talk about soulmates. Okay, this can talk about a part of ourself, our innocence. And I feel like there is some part of yourself that might have been shut out, lost along the way. Okay, that we couldn't connect to, because we see a lot of emotions here. And all the fish again, because fish are lacking sort of direction. And so I feel like we were really needing to feel and sit with this inner child energy here. And so I believe that for a lot of you guys, you might have been really leaning into the mind story and the understanding you had conceptually about an experience or whatever, a belief, like I say. Okay, and it was only a thought, but it was untrue nonetheless, but we believed it, so it became our reality. But it was untrue when it came to the universe. And so we had to remove the veil of the story and the identity and the belief we attached to. And then we saw our pure child here, okay? The pure child within here. And I think this pure child has a message for you. It's like, go after that dream, or connect to that in which is the lovers, which we saw 6 coming through here. It's a choice, a crossroads, a decision to go down that path. Create that business, date that person, open that whatever. It's the beginning stage, because I feel like now we're asked to keep going. But now it's like I went from inauthenticity and having no aim or direction to now turning my nose in the direction that I'm dealing with the right type of stuff. I'm no longer stuck by my own sort of thoughts of the past. Okay, because I feel like what really was the problem was the conflicting thoughts. And so we could have been butting heads up against this idea or this thought, you know, and so people around us couldn't agree or understand, or we didn't know the direction. And now look, there's 2 people climbing in the same direction. So if we were butting heads against some idea of what we wanted or we understood, it's now we could get on the same page, and I'm now lighting the way, you know. But I feel like we're still going up, because I feel like now at least we're not doing circles. We're pointing in a direction that's leading us somewhere for January, okay? But we're still going uphill because we haven't got to the pinnacle, okay? And I don't know, is there ever really a pinnacle? I don't know, but I do feel like it's finally a turn for the better, and I do feel like this feels a lot better than just sort of spinning tires and not seeing clearly. It's like now I can invest and I can move in a direction, and now we're all on board, and then we have these wands which are lit, so I see my way. I could see my way. And so now I can actually manifest what I want, because we're always manifesting. Energy is always there, present, whether you know you're manifesting or not. And so if we're in the past and we're living in those pains and feeling those emotions, this is what we manifest more of, because the universe hears that ego self and says, wow, this must be something very important to pile 1. They can't get over that story, so it must have really impacted them. Let me give them more of what it is that, you know, that they need. So if they're feeling lack, it's like anytime something happens, I'll make them feel more lack, so that they're very aware of that state of being, because you're energizing that state of being. You're giving it your energy. You're putting your focus solely on that experience and that understanding. And so the universe says, great, I now work with pile 1 when it comes to that experience. But when we sever that and we deal in the present moment, and we're no longer identified, and we drop the false self, we can now manifest from a different state of consciousness now. Okay, so I feel like you're manifesting your actual star, because I feel like you always wanted the star. You always had a vision of something, but I feel like you couldn't get there because you were held hostage by past energies, which kept manifesting more sad stories. Okay, that's how this is pulling through here. So where we had no choice, where we couldn't go down the path, we're now the master magician of creating the path. And so it's up to you, you know, and I think you see now, it's like, if I stay in the past energy, it counteracts the future state that I could be. And so now that I'm awakened, or that I am now conscious, it's like I'd be conscious if I stay telling myself the same story, because it would no longer be a lie. I'm actively now in that energy that I could continue to feel bad. I could continue, but I see it. And so it's once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's now a truth. We pierce through the veil. Okay, but we don't have to identify with it. And so I think we're actively now cutting away the identification, but the first step is to see that it is untrue, and to cut away that belief that we were attached to. And that's the only way for us to allow ourselves with authenticity to move in a pointed direction towards what we actually want, which I feel is manifesting your star and your vision and your dream. And so the universe is like, yay, let's move now out of stagnation, out of conflict, out of, you know, the state of just having a fantasy vision, and into what you're actually manifesting here. Okay, so let's pull a final message. What you need to know then about this energy, beautiful people, because I feel like it's a sigh of relief coming out of that old state. I don't think you wanted to be in suffering. I don't think you wanted to carry a 3 swords with you from a past experience. Like, who would want to? You know, if we could press a button and say get out of suffering, everyone would do it. But really, once we find out that we are the ones that were doing it, we sort of start to say, ooh, why didn't I let go of it sooner? Because we didn't know how, or we were too enmeshed in our thought to even know that we were the one that was creating those thoughts, you know. And with the magician, I feel like you're now very aware that you're creating, and you don't have to be in suffering. You don't have to be in lack mindset. You don't have to keep repeating those stories of the past. The version of you that exists right here, right now, has never existed. It's a clean slate. This you can create. This you can manifest. This you is untainted with trauma. This you is the version of you that you have always wanted to be. But you have to choose it. You know, we don't have to keep choosing the past version of ourselves. That's an active choice that we can make unless we're sleeping, and we just constantly stay in that state. Okay, so we're awakened to this, beautiful angels, and I think it took time for us to connect to that, to actually see that there was an external thought program going on in the background that wasn't helping us, and we give it power. We're the creator. We can either fuel it, or we can just see it and silence it. Okay, so let's see. Final message for pile 1 in regards to January. It sounds like a lot of healing, because what I'm talking about here is a lot of shadow work, you know. So, and look, he's like dark, like a shadow, and here we see the insides like an x-ray. So it's like I could see inside of myself, because that is where everything originates, you know, our traumas, our beliefs. And what we're seeing on the outside world is always a reflection of what's going on the inside. So if we don't like the outside and we don't complain, we know that there's something going on inside of us that is creating that reality. So we'll take the one that revealed itself and one dropped. It fell like that. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So talking about the manifestation again. And finally, feel this one. Four Pentacles. So we saw the 10 Pentacles in reverse, and we saw Devil energy, and we were talking about the illusion that needed to be seen through and transmuted from the shadow. So this is, I can let go of the story. I can let go of my security. I can let go of the scarcity. Okay, but I feel like we've been hanging on to a belief, and it wasn't allowing something to produce. It wasn't allowing the fruit to grow, because we'd have to plant the seed. It was blocked. Look at the Tower in reverse, and here's the Tower. Okay, so it was the reason we couldn't manifest was because we couldn't let the illusion fall. And we didn't let the illusion fall because I don't think you saw it, because you were covered up by a veil of understanding that was not true. And so what happens in January is we see through the veil. We shed that illusion. We allow the thing to fall. And not only do you allow it, I feel like you help burn this thing, you know, because it's like this thing, this idea, this understanding, this hurt, this pain, this identification, this belief didn't let the fruit grow on my tree. And I see my involvement because I was clinging to some idea. I was held back. I was thinking I'd lose out. I was too scared to surrender. You know, the story seemed very real to me. And so I didn't want something to come down. I was only seeing the bad thing. Yeah, look, the mask falls away. 7 swords in reverse. The thief returns the swords that he stole. I embrace the truth. And the truth is that I was living some facade of self. And I can see this now. I don't no longer want to pretend, or I no longer want to hide myself or be inauthentic. And this created me being cut out from what I wanted. And that's the driver, is like I see a vision of what I want. And so the pain got in my way. So I had to do this Hermit 4 Swords thing to really reflect, go inwards, heal. With the 4 Swords, take the time, and now I'm coming out, because we saw the Hermit in reverse, coming out with a better understanding of my pain. And that led me to being authentic. That led me to acknowledging my mask. That led me to forgiving and saying sorry, or whatever it is here that now is dealing with the real story, you know, allowing the false to fall away. Temperance, more balanced. This is also the healing, which is I was getting temperance from the angel. So we're protected, we're guided, we're more balanced, and now we can create with another, create with something in order to build, okay, which I feel is that mending. So a relationship is healed, or an aspect of ourself got healed and is now whole and complete. And now we feel this beautiful, more balanced energy. But I feel you're exhausted. You know, I do feel you're exhausted here. Yeah, shedding of the ego with the sun in reverse. And I feel like, again, the keep going here is like we still haven't reached the pinnacle. There's still joy. There's still enlightenment. There's still getting to this beautiful energy. And I think that's where we move towards, because we have to point our nose in that direction. And that's what you do. You know, by this falling, now we know where we're going. But we see the sun and we see this clarity, and now we're moving in this direction, but we had to have been balanced. And I feel this provides a lot of healing to you. And we have to surrender the version of self here that was getting in the way, which I feel is definitely always comes back to this egoic story. You know, I got hurt in the past, and so now I'm identified with something. That's what the ego is. I identify with something. The hurt version of me, the story I tell myself. Yeah, now I see where my sunshine is. Now I see how to get enlightened. Now I see where I was blind. But I'm authentic now, you know, and I might not have reached my full state of happiness or the star, the joy, but now I know. Now I know, and now I see, and now I'm authentic. Yeah, close out a cycle. You guys are closing out a major cycle here with the world, the universe. Oh, let me use this. Full moon, protect your energy and hold your stars close, it says. So interesting, we're going into a new moon. So this could be a full month, and we have the world, which the world usually talks about a full year. So some of you guys might have been working on this all year, and it's closing out. You know, or for some of you guys in a full moon, like from the new moon to the full moon, which is a lunar cycle, there could be a full closure of something here, you know, where you can finally close out the chapter and see the light and embrace this. Hold your stars close. Look, she's holding the sun close. She's embracing it. And the star is your wish. And so your wish makes you extremely happy. And your wish makes you feel joy. Your wish connects you to your inner child. And we see 2 children here playing in the summertime. we saw the 6 cups. So some of you guys, it's a soulmate, and soulmate could be your soul's craving for a career, or your passion, or your desire to move in a direction, but the choice was yours to grab onto that, you know. And maybe we just told ourselves we were undeserving, or just didn't see it, for the pain was speaking louder than the desire at one point in time. And so we hold this vision we have very closely, and that's what motivates us. And protect is really, you are being protected here along the way, you know. And I don't think not manifesting is a place you want to be anymore. And the only time we're in a place where we don't manifest what we want is when we are still under the veil of the ego, under the veil of some thing that we're still in program. Because if we wanted to manifest what we want, everyone would manifest exactly what they want. So we all have desires we want. So you had a vision of what you want. It just didn't manifest. And it didn't because the energy was misaligned. The energy was saying something else to the universe. And therefore, what you wanted never manifested. It just kept creating more of the same. You know, but now we're clear. Now we cut away that veil. And so we're embracing a truth of ourselves. And now the manifestation becomes a reality as we close out this story of the past. That's true growth. Okay, growth. So pile number 1. This is your beautiful reading. I love this for you guys. Big change. And I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Yellow feather. Beautiful. Love the yellow. Reminds me of the sun. Yellow is all about confidence. So love, love, love yellow. We're looking at the energy coming in with this month ahead. Okay, I am recording for the month of January coming up. So if you watch during the time of the posting, then this will be for the month of January. And also because we're approaching this new moon, December 30th. So it's the new moon energy, the new month of January, and of course the new year we're going into. So lots of new energy. So we're going to see, what does this month ahead bring towards you energetically? Okay, but you are the captain of your own free will. So nothing is set in stone, and you can intervene with your energy however you see fit. Okay, so use your intuition. I will lay these cards out. This will give you a chance to tap into your own intuition and see if this resonates. If you're ready in tune with your intuition, you can click straight away to the channeled message for pile number 2 and see what it is that the month ahead is coming with for you energetically. So we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. Well, the 7th chakra is the crown chakra. Isn't that amazing? Crown chakra is external from us, because that is really the portal, the gateway from us to the divine. You know, where we get our downloads and our communication straight to the divine. Wow. So that's a very powerful spiritual card right here. 41, or the number 5. We have escape. It's a little island, and then the boat. And we have stairs, hierarchy, movement, and accessibility. And look at that. The stairs are ascending, or are they descending? Well, I would say if we're in the 7th chakra, this would be ascension. We have the moon. Moon talks about the subconscious, the fears, feminine energy. It also talks about the intuition, you know, the esoteric, the mysteries of the world. Escape could even be that, you know, the metaphysical and the ethereal. So we have ancient oak spirit with strength, number 2. So strength is Leo energy. Ancient oak spirit, the tree, could talk about stability. 2s are all about balance, duality, and choices. So high priestess energy, which is very much esoteric. We have friendliness with number 2 again. So 2s are all about, like you say, balance, duality, choices. High priestess energy, justice, which is about balance. 2 trees, so now we have 3 trees. Another tree, palm tree. Wow, okay, we have mind. Okay, and we have the planet of Saturn. Be realistic about, be concerned about, and you must wait before you can. So Saturn's the ruling planet for Capricorn and Aquarius. So Saturn's a very heavy sort of energy, because it takes a lot of dedication and investment, and sometimes sacrifice. you know, but is also very ambitious, very committed and dedicated to achievement, ambition, to attain something here. But it sometimes comes with a price. Okay, we have roots, and then we see the heart, but also more tree energy. Trees are all about health. It could be your family lineage, be about stability, security. And these trees are very abundant, and so roots are like how well rooted is that tree, and what is in the soil that allows this tree to be firm. Heart can definitely be talking about heart consciousness, which is love. And we see the intuitive eye, which takes me back to this spiritual side here, the intuition. We have spirit of nurture. So we nurture something when it's in root form to grow into something stable. And how do we nurture it? It depends. It depends what it needs here. Ooh, I don't know what's going on here. Oh, sorry. I thought it looked like something. It looked like something sketchy. So, crossroads, this way or that way. This to me looks like the same person. You know, wearing a blue robe, going that way and that way. Maybe lost. Like I went down that way, I didn't find it. Now I'm going down this way, and it's like, which way? I don't know. And a maze here of sorts here is what it feels. Blue robe. So blues are all about expression. It's the throat chakra. You know, authentic self-expression. And we have ancestor of illusion. So illusion could be this moon. Illusion is when the mind is overactive, and so there's this culmination of energy that's active in the mind. It's not true. It's just our mind. Okay, energy is, when it's in the mind, it's some form that we're giving it in the mind, but it could be dissolved, so that is an illusion. It doesn't stand firm on its own. We have to upkeep it by giving it energy, so we know it's not true. It's not true if we have to upkeep it. Okay, so there's some form of illusion, potentially of an understanding here of something. Hunter of vision. So we were talking about vision, but what sort of vision? Esoteric vision? The high priestess vision? Or are we talking 3D vision? Okay, I'm getting Sagittarius energy from this bow and arrow. And this is action. More tree energy. Oops, and then there. So 4 different packs. And we see trees and even roots. So 5. And action. Action only comes when we've given something some thought. And then we take action and make it a reality here to give it life. Okay. And we have comparison. You're being asked to be kinder to yourself, to give yourself a break instead of being a taskmaster, a bully, and a horrible friend. Be a loving comforter who always has your back. So we are a worst critic and more heart energy. Heart is about compassion and love. And here we have repairing the veil. Forgiveness, 45. Or the number 9. And look at all those ribbons on this post. And butterflies talk about transformation. Repairing the veil. So something must have been not put together or fell apart if we have to repair it. And then forgiveness. Another lesson here in forgiveness, potentially, that we're going to have to channel here in a sec, that generally comes through. But before we do this, let's pull the tarot and see what comes through with the tarot. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 2. What is this energy that's in store for pile number 2 for January? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Let us see what it is that Spirit wants to communicate for the energy that you will be coming into for the month of January or the month ahead, depending when you click on this video. All right, so let's see what we have. We have the High Priestess, which we were feeling. Okay, Pisces energy. So this is potentially an illusion because we're not seeing something with the High Priestess in reverse. And we have the Seven Cups in reverse. So Seven Cups talks about a whole bunch of things that could keep us in confusion if we don't get clear. Choices we have to make, but there's too many options. And so there's a need to get clear, to see clearly what option. Six of Swords in reverse. So we were stuck in something that was feeling challenging or difficult. Nine of Wands in reverse. So I need to surrender, not to be defensive or guarded, and sort of keep going. The Knight of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Wands. Okay, so this is kind of saying two contradictory energies, because one takes action on its passion, and this is like an inspired idea to take action, but we are resisting or refusing or not taking action or following up on this. Yeah, so let's see. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. And what's under that? The 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Let me sit here with this energy. You guys can click straight away on the channeled message. Okay, beautiful people. Like I always say, it could be your energy, someone around you. Attribute it to whoever you need to that's in your world, if this is your pile and it resonates for you. Okay, I will read this as your energy. So you're highly spiritual. There's an understanding here, I feel, like a very deep understanding. It's been given to you by the grace of God. Some understanding, some download, some ethereal knowledge. Okay, so I feel like this could be very challenging to people who are here on Earth, because the Earth is very 3D. And so in this grounded 3D realm, we start to question the more magical side of the spiritual information and understandings we have with the divine. And this comes through dreams, signs, symbols, synchronicities, and through our own intuition. And so if we start to experience in the 3D things that contradict what we know intuitively but don't see, and we start to get very confused, and we start to do circles, and we start to question, and we start to not know our way. Okay, and so it's frustrating, but I feel like we could either get lost in the esoteric meanings and completely need to get grounded, or we could completely start to keep trying to ground ourselves, but then not bring in the part of spirituality that's trying to guide us and lead us in a direction that we're meant to sort of follow or get balanced. So there is a need to integrate the spiritual to your 3D world. And I feel this is exactly what happens here in January, because I feel like there's been a very long, tedious battle, and we might have been very much floating in some outer space spiritual concept. And what good is that when we're living in the 3D world? You know, if we get caught up in fairies and twin flames and all of this more esoteric sort of energy that's going on, okay, which is spiritual, but what are we producing here in the 3D that's going to ground us in reality so that we can get focused and start moving in a direction that allows us to create what we want to create? Because I feel like what we want to create is stability, security, and something solid here for ourselves for the long term. But this would require a lot of mixed sort of skills. You know, it would require us understanding our spiritual side. It would require us not shutting down our intuition and knowing what is our intuition. And then it would require us knowing when to take action on certain things, and also surrendering certain parts, and also identifying when we're in mind. That's a lot, you know, that's a lot. But I feel like the biggest key thing here is forgiveness. And the forgiveness here is the soul food that we need. You know, the compassion, the forgiveness is the soul food we need to plant the roots towards what we're creating here. So this starts in January, and what we're creating is something in the 3D world. It's not something up there in the sky that's just some fantasy idea that burns time or that makes us feel like we're lacking direction because we've burned and turned a bunch of spiritual ideas, concepts, dreams, and visions of something, but we're still lost and we're still confused and we're still sort of not seeing reality. Okay, and so I feel like the reason we got pulled into whatever that thing was is because, one, it's very spiritual, so it impacts us very profoundly. We can't just ignore it, right? It's like a very vivid dream or a very vivid download or a very clear vision with the third eye, an intuitive hit. It's like, what do I do with this though? And eventually it starts to peter out because we're not sure how to bring into the 3D world what we're supposed to do. And so we feel it on the heart level. So I feel you're very connected to something or someone here that is trying to be manifested in the 3D. It has to be. You're not just fed this information just to sit there and let it sort of, I don't know, float away. This information is coming to you because it's very tied to what you're supposed to create here in the 3D world. And this is why we feel very much tied to it on a heart level, because the heart doesn't lie. It feels pure, and it also will reflect to you your intuition very clearly. But the only time we don't see it is when we let the mind get in the way. And the mind is programmed. It's just a whole concoction of energy that is on a replay. And so we need to see through this illusion of the mind and keep taking it back to the intuition and the heart, because the heart is going to guide us. The heart is the true vision, so that we can manifest in the 3D world and put roots into something, and only nurture these roots with the intuition and the divine energy, but then ground it here in reality with the 3D. And so this forgiveness, like I said, comes into play because we have to be able to surrender stories of the mind that make us carry shame, guilt, lack, anything here that wasn't allowing us to sustain some form of 3D structure, some form of stability, something solid or healthy. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't stable. It wasn't grounded in reality, because I was in an illusion. I was in some fantasy land, you know, not that I wanted to be, but because my mind was on overdrive. And so it's something I've been trying to navigate my way out of. Like, what is my true authentic expression? What am I supposed to be revealing here in the 3D world or creating? What am I supposed to be feeding or moving towards or building? Like, what is the pointed action here? Because I feel like there's been a lot of burn and turn, burn and turn, burn and turn. Okay, and so when we surrender, this is truly allowing things to be as they are without trying to control, form, or fix it. Okay, that's forgiveness. That's true surrender. If we want something to be different, we're resisting. If we're trying to intervene with however the universe is sort of unfolding, that's not surrender. But when we accept what is, sit with what is, and fully feel what is as it is, that's the true form of forgiveness. We're not trying to change it, we're accepting it, and we're working with the reality of a situation. We're seeing very clearly. So I feel like there's a lot of ascension in your energy, closer to the divine, when we detach from mind stories, and we are now able to see some of the illusion we might have thought as real at one point, or it was competing with the intuition. So we had the illusion of the mind, which is the ego, the stories, the identities, and the beliefs, and it was real because we upkept it. And then there was the divine, the dreams, and what we knew intuitively. Okay, so they were kind of at odds, and they both seemed real, but only one is real and one is an illusion. And you guessed it, the mind is the illusion. It was created and programmed. Okay, because it doesn't matter what is going on in the mind here and what we conceptually know. Well, that is nothing but just a projection and a construct of energy that we're keeping alive. the reality is that what the universe has, and that only comes through intuition. It's not tainted by experience. Intuition knows, and our heart knows. There's no filter on the heart. The only filter is through our perception, because of our experience and our conditioning and our genetics and our beliefs and our upbringing and societal norms and things like this. Okay, so they're at odds when we're transitioning. And so I feel like we're needing to wipe away all of the old illusions of stories in order to bring in a reality of the heart, a reality of the intuition, because we weren't seeing where we were headed. We weren't grounding ourselves and rooting ourselves and creating something healthy in our world. And so I feel like now we could take action because we have clear vision of the heart, clear vision of the intuition. The fears no longer sort of get in our way. And even if there is fear, I'm still moving up towards this ascension. I'm not spinning wheels, or I'm not falling back in my mind, then going back to my spirituality, falling back in my mind, and then and getting lost. It's like, okay, I might have fear. I might not know. I might not understand fully spiritually why I'm getting all of these downloads, or my third eye, or all this psychic ability, or what's happening to me in the spiritual awakening. It's not clear. Still fear in surrender. There's still fear in accepting some form of spiritual truth over the 3D truth, potentially, or my own perception of truth. There's still fear, but I'm still allowing myself now to move in that direction, because I am now certain and clear that this vision is the right vision, and the mind vision was the illusion that kept me stuck. And so now I'm more pointed in my direction. But this only comes when I have compassion and forgiveness for myself and for others. Because if I stay in any sort of shame, lack, guilt, woe is me, victim mentality, then I can't be empowered to take action here. So I have to give my soul the right form of food. I have to feed the roots of what I'm planting here with the right type of soul food. The soul food is compassion and forgiveness. So I can take action here, okay? And I come out of this murky energy in order for me to be more pointed in my direction. And so now I'm not spinning my tires here in a 5-sword situation. I've learned to surrender, and now I know where to take action, because I'm really being called. Okay, I feel like there's an inspired project, an inspired vision, a direct thing we were supposed to do and give it life. And instead of choosing it, or even knowing how to take action on it, we were questioning, and we were floundering, and we were, questioning the divine, questioning ourselves, questioning our dreams, questioning the spiritual side, and then not getting anywhere, but I feel you have been committed and dedicated to this thing, because I think you really wanted to find your way out, but what is real and what is not real, and what course of action were you supposed to take for yourself? Like, you didn't want to lead yourself to some dead-end situation. You wanted to lead yourself to something that would flourish and be healthy. So I feel like this is exactly the energy for January, is what you're navigating out of, so you can plant these solid roots and grow this thing, because I think this thing is aligned with what it is that you initially had envisioned here for yourself, but it might have, I don't know, thought it was some form of illusion, or weren't quite sure how to ground it, how to manifest it, how to nurture it. And this requires a lot of spiritual healing, a lot of ascension, a lot of seeing through the projections of the mind and the ego, so that we can take action. Because there was maybe some paralysis analysis at one point in time. How can I move when I don't know what the reality is? How can I make any decisions? So let's see, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. What is this message? What have I missed for January energy here for pile 2? Spirits, any questions they might have in this channeling message. So the Hermit in reverse and the 4 of Wands and Justice. Okay, so Hermit is all about pulling ourselves away from society to go inwards, to really connect with the spiritual side of ourselves, to know ourselves. Okay, and I feel like we've been removed for quite some time. And we had to get removed, because when we were experiencing something so divine and so intense like this, it's like I have to sit with that energy, you know? So I feel like we're coming out of a period of that, where we were isolated or really in deep reflection in order to become more balanced. And the balance here is, how do I bring in a deeper understanding and plant something, again with the 4 wands. This is the stability, the structure, like giving something roots here in the 3D world. It's now going to become balanced. And I wasn't sure in the past how to do it. Blind, closed eyes, blindfold. Okay, so it's like a new way of navigating here in the 3D world that you're not really used to. It's like blind intuition. It's like, I don't know for certain, right? Because it's spirituality. That's the faith. We don't know for certain. We're just being guided by our spiritual faith and our intuition, but that is the sixth sense now that we've developed. And so we're now okay with the sixth sense. We're no longer floundering with this misconception of what's real, what's not, and that's what kept us held up. And so as long as we're in that sort of mindset, you know, like I said, fantasies, fairies, wishes of something that we don't quite understand, and we shame talk ourselves, or we just don't believe it or whatever. But now it's like, okay, I don't need to do that anymore. I know what I experience. I know what my intuition is telling me. I know where my passion and my heart are sitting. I could see clearly where I was blind in order to create a structured balance here. And so I might not still see with my 3D eyes, but I've removed a lot of the noise here in order for me to come into some form of balance, which would require me to come out of my hidden state or my hibernation. 4 swords in reverse, coming out of that state. 4 cups, and this is the energy we were in when we couldn't plant. This 4 cups is like, we're despondent. We're not energetically wanting to even come out because we don't know what's real and what's not. It's like, why even bother? We're not inspired, so we're hidden, we're pulled away, and we just don't feel motivated. We're looking at the things not working, and there was no sense of taking action or feeling inspired to move to create anything here because we didn't know. There's the devil. Yeah, we were chained back, and so it is unhealthy. The unhealthy pattern is I'm too removed. The unhealthy pattern was my mindset that I was stuck on something that wasn't allowing me to move. Capricorn energy, Virgo energy. There's the 4 pentacles. That's the surrender. So I surrender to create the stability. I surrender in order for me to lay the foundation. And I think this is a pivotal point because this talks about a milestone, a rite of passage. Okay, so we're entering this next pivotal point where we're like, I'm going to take this intuition and this new understanding that is new to me, and I'm going to surrender to the universe in order to lay some groundwork here. And this is what creates the balance in your world. The Emperor in reverse. And we felt not empowered, and we felt at the mercy of what was happening to us. Okay, but we're bringing justice to this part of our world that we felt we couldn't. You know, we couldn't take action. We didn't have a clear vision. It was like, what is this? You know, and so the unhealthy self-speak was really stemming from within because it was the shame, guilt, or lack of understanding, or the need to forgive oneself that really was the soul food, like I said, to nurture this foundation in a proper way, not feeding the questions, not feeding the murkiness, not feeding the 7 cups or the blind intuition or fighting against the intuition. That's resistance. We don't want to change something. That's resistance. We flow with it. We accept what it is. We release. We surrender. Okay? And then we feel empowered. But I feel like, yeah, we weren't feeling like we were in charge of the direction in which we were going. So we have Aries here. We have Libra here. We have Capricorn and Virgo, like I said. So let's see. I'm going to put all these back, and we're going to get a final message here for you guys. But it seems like it's a freedom from bondage of a mindset and coming out of a real lackluster state of 4 cups, because now we can confidently, even though I think with intuition you can't really see, but confidently trust our own intuition, confidently trust where we're being pulled to. Because I think in the 3D is the important thing here that you're wanting to really build and lay a foundation. And now we can water that thing. You know, we feel motivated to water that thing, or at least we feel now we can get empowered to do so for once. But we're coming out of Hermit, and I feel you've been in Hermit for quite some time, you know, so I don't think we fully get the tree to its full like fruit, okay, but I feel like we finally are pointed enough to take action towards what that looks like, to lay the roots of this tree. So what am I missing, Spirit, for pile number 1? Any questions they still have for this energy of January that's coming in for pile 1, Spirit? Clear and concise message for beautiful pile 1. What am I missing? What do they need to know here in regards to their energy for January, Spirit? Yeah, it's very grounding. And I think it's about time, because I feel like we might have been really needing some grounding. We're getting very discouraged with our old energy. 6 of Swords, don't read bottom of the deck, reverse, and there's the 7 Cups. So whatever was confusing or murky, it's like we're now seeing clearly. We're now getting out of this more stagnant energy. Hierophant. So Hierophant's all about learnings, understandings, what we commit to, our lifestyle. Justice. Libra, Taurus energy. And balance. 8 Pentacles. This is the work card, the commitment, the dedication. So the morning card is a special card in this deck. I think it has morning and evening, or morning and night. So in the morning, this is the sunrise, right? It's like the clarity. It's like a new attempt. It's like being reborn. We could do it all over again, you know? So I feel like there's this energy of allowing the past to go with the forgiveness, to be reborn in a new energy that now can see and has the whole day ahead. And that's, like I said, like the tree hasn't been built yet, or grown to fruit. It's like, but now we have the whole, you know, like day ahead of us. But I don't have to squander it. I don't have to burn my tires. I don't have to spend the whole day trying to find direction. I know where I'm going. And so I feel like there's a new zest of energy here that looks forward to the new life, the new energy, because we're clear. And so things that might have seemed like stuck or obstacles or very fixed, it's like, despite these, I have a clear vision of what I am supposed to do. Yeah, I like this energy a lot, you know, and it's something that you can value in your world, that you know is just and fair to you. You're not feeling at the mercy or pulled by energy here that, I don't know, if the divine seemed like it was pulling you off course, or like your energy was out of balance. It's now honing it back to self. 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands is carrying the heavy load. And so I feel like there is a fine balance of, like I said, the mind, or the 3D, and then the, well, I should say more the spiritual, and the downloads, the dreams, and the esoteric. Okay, my new psychic abilities potentially coming in, and they were all haywire. I wasn't understanding what the divine was telling me. And then I have, you know, the 3D world. And the 3D world is my understandings, my schoolings, my experiences, and it's like a fair balance here. And I can carry this, although it's been very heavy, and it becomes a lot of work to balance the two. But at least now I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm balancing these two energies in fair distribution in order for me to be constructive. I'm not floundering, you know, like this is where I'm putting my energy. And I think at first it takes some effort, because we're not used to the visions of the spiritual downloads and all of this spiritual awakening business, you know? So how do I integrate that and keep myself grounded and real in the 3D so I could still build and still move forward and still balance my world? That takes practice, and it takes commitment, devotion, dedication. That's where we have good investment. 5 of Pentacles and the Tower. So I think you guys are suddenly coming out of a state here where it was a victim mindset, the 4 Cups, the lack, I don't have, I can't create, I'm stuck in this rut, the universe is not providing, and that was the 5 Swords we were in, and we're coming out of this, and I feel is sudden, and I feel it's the minute we surrender and the minute we allow the illusion to fall. the illusion to fall. And the illusion is the mind story that we were, I don't know, a victim. We were not empowered. We were trapped in some esoteric land, or we couldn't get grounded, or we couldn't plant here in the 3D. It's like nothing's 3D, or I don't have the tools to work with it, or what can I commit to or work with? It's like now I can get balanced. Now I have the ability to do something. And I felt like my tools were taken from me, or that I didn't have the ability, but that was just an illusion. And so any part of me that was upkeeping this falsity, because it's really the victim mindset or the inability to do so, it required forgiveness, it required compassion, it required this nurturing energy of accepting my spiritual side, sitting with my intuition, removing any mind story, allowing the surrender to happen so that I can work with what is there. Okay, so I can pull myself out of a state of not good. I don't think you were in a good energy. And it might have gone on for quite some time here, you know, in 2024. But I feel like January is, I am coming into a more balanced state, and I am able to now create something in the 3D world here that is something I want, because I can balance my spiritual side and this more unseen side of myself and see clearly what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so beautiful angels, this is your reading. I love you guys very much. I hope this helped you guys. Have a beautiful new year, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels, pile number 3. You guys picked the yellow feathers. Absolutely beautiful. No, you didn't. Am I doing number 2? Maybe some of you guys were called to number 2. Only if you're called. Red. Red, red, red. My favorite color, red. Beautiful angels. You're drawn to the red, not the yellow. This is pile 3. We're looking at your energy coming in. Oh, look at this stripy feather. Isn't that so cute? I never noticed that. Absolutely adorable. We're looking at energy for January, okay? But all my readings are timeless, so it doesn't have to be at the time of the posting. If you watch this 6 months from now, 3 years from now, doesn't matter. It's the month coming in for you and the energy pulling in, okay? But at the time of the reading, we're coming into the new moon, December 30th, and the new month of January, and of course the new year. So there's a lot of new energy, and we're looking at what's pulling in energetically for you, okay? But energy is not fixed, and so you can use your free will to course correct and do what you need to here, okay? But this is looking at where the energy is sitting and where you're sort of headed based on the energy as it sits, okay? If you're in tune with your intuition, you can click straight away to the channeled reading, although I will be laying out these cards, and that will give you guys an opportunity to sit with your intuition, really tap into it so that you know whether this reading is for you or not, okay? So pile number 3, let's take a look. We have the first chakra, Archangel Michael, number 35, or the number 8. So that is root. Interesting, because we have the red here, pulling through twice. We have the mind. I think the mind came through for all 3 piles, not this card specifically, but mind energy. And as we know, mind is just an accumulation of energy sitting there, okay? It's not real. It's an illusion that we concoct, because the mind is a series of conditioning, programs, beliefs, you know, societal upbringings, indoctrinations, and all sorts of energy that sits there, okay? We give it life with the mind. The mind is part of the body. Very root stuff here. Broom. New starts, cleansing and resources. This kind of is looking like a broom here. So yeah, broom is all about clearing out old stagnant energies, releasing certain things. Dragonfly spirit, change. Number 12. 12 is hangman, which is a new perspective, getting enlightened, maybe a period of pause. And then we see the dragonfly again, which is seeing through illusion. We just finished this whole talk about the mind being an illusion. Okay, and we have these lotus flowers, and lotus, they grow out of adversity. So we have change. Change isn't always easy. 3 is about growth, relationships, initial success. And then we have transformation, 13. So Scorpio energy, Pisces energy, transformations, death, release, and change for sure. Burden, the burden, number 6. So burden's giving me 10 wands, 6 is lovers. 6 is about problem solving, compassion, harmony. And we see a rooster. Roosters could be masculine energy. It could be asserting ourselves, but it feels very dominant here with the rooster. Aries energy. I'm getting 6 wands as well. And 6 wands could be ego. Okay, and then we have the planet of Neptune. And Neptune's a ruling planet for Pisces. It says the idolization of, confusion regarding, and sacrifice. Wow. All right. Neptune. Okay, and then we have the deer. Look at this deer. It has antlers, so it feels very masculine here. We are getting with the rooster. It doesn't look like, you know, an innocent sort of deer that's hesitant or innocent or cautious. This deer looks very confident here. Maybe some of you guys have a goatee or know someone with a goatee. If this is resonating with maybe someone's energy around you, maybe a masculine energy here. And we have Scorpio, Aries, and a lot of Earth, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn coming through. And then, of course, Pisces with the Neptune. And we have forest. Well, deers hang out in the forest. A forest could be symbolic of sort of a journey or an adventure of the unknown or having to navigate through something. Okay, and then we have 2 people walking down a path, down a sidewalk here. Okay, we see the blue and the red. So red is root chakra, blue could be authentic expression with the throat chakra. And their backs are turned. They're walking towards something. Okay, and then we have this hammer breaking through a wall or some slats. This reminds me of a Fred Flintstone hammer because it's put together sort of more primal with some rope and some rock. Breaking through something here. What is this? Assertion, aggression, violence? Okay, forcing our will, forcing our way. Dancer of fear. So we can't see the trees for the forest for the trees. Fear. And we know fear is an illusion. It exists in the mind. And we have adventure, which we talked about in this forest. Interesting. More tree. Tree is about stability. And stability is emperor energy. Structure, foundations, planning. Okay, Emperor is divine masculine energy, and also tree is, the stability is number 4, Emperor's 4, and 4 is the death card in the tarot, which is about transformation and release. So we have receive. You're being asked to be open to receiving universal gifts. These could come in the form of love, money, compliments, healing energy, and universal wisdom. Know that you're worthy of these gifts and open up to them. And we have caterpillar with opportunity, 4 coming through again. Okay, like we said, for structure, foundation, stability, emperor energy. But opportunity is 1, which is a new beginning. And we always have a new beginning when we close out or release and we transform into new energy. Okay, new starts. Let us pull some tarot to get a little bit more for pile number 3. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3 and this energy coming in with January for pile 3. Please help me to channel whatever this message is, clear and concise for pile 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. We have Princess of Torches in reverse, which is the Page of Wands in reverse. 5 Cups in reverse. Why is this Page of Wands here, spirits? We have the 4 of Wands in reverse. So it's the opposite of structure, stability, because it's like taking down. And we have the 5 Swords in reverse. Why is this Five of Cups here in reverse, Spirit? Fives are all about conflict, loss, change, rebuild. Two Pentacles, back and forth. I need to choose. 10 Pentacles, structure, stability, coming up again. I do feel this one. Queen of Wands in reverse. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And 10 Swords. And under 10 Swords, we have the Two of Wands. Okay. So let me do this. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see. Let me sit here with this energy. You guys can click straight away on the channeled message and get into that. I want to see that we're in frame. It's about as good as it's going to get. Here. Okay. Pile number 3, this could be your energy around you, someone that you're dealing with. Take it as it resonates for you. I'm going to read this as your energy. Root chakra. Okay, root chakra is the very first chakra. And so when we have blocks in the root chakra, we are really guided by fears. And these fears manifest and give life in our mind and our mind stories. They're not real, but they feel very real to us because it's our understanding of what's happened to us. So through our experiences, it becomes a reality, but it is only real for us. And so we give it life. And so anything that's happened in the past remains alive as we feed it. But anything we have to uphold is not reality, because the truth is reality. And the truth doesn't need sustaining, defending, doesn't need anything but to just be the truth, because the truth is the truth is the truth, whether we believe it or don't believe it. It exists as true reality. But illusions, they only exist when we sustain them, when we feed them, when we believe in them, when we give them life. So there's a belief here, and this belief system is untrue. It's not true, and it stemmed from some experience of the past, which created a lot of fear. And the fear limited us. It limits us because it prevents us from taking action or allowing us to receive, allowing us to give of ourselves authentically. And so what we lack means we are not giving that in which we lack. Now, the truth is you lack nothing. Okay, the universe knows you're whole and complete. But when you feel you lack, it is because you upkeep some illusion, some story, some upkeep of some understanding that you're lacking. And so therefore, this means I am not giving that in which I'm lacking. So I lack love, or I'm not worthy. And this means we're not giving love, or we're not doing things that make us feel worthy. Do you understand? So if I want to see more love being given to me, I have to give more love, make more loving situations. If I want to be worthy of receiving, I got to start giving, be more compassionate, and go hand out food to the poor. You know, I got to express myself maybe more if I feel like people are shutting me out or I'm not bonding or connecting. It's because I'm not coming out of my shell to bond and connect, because that in which you are lacking is the thing that you're not giving, because within you is everything, because you are the universe, whole and complete within you. Whether you realize it or not, whether it's blocked or not, is sort of your own thing to discover. But the universe doesn't handicap you. The universe doesn't remove anything from you. The universe has all abundance for everyone at all times. It's always there. Whether you lean into it, see it, choose it, is up to you. You could resist, block, fight, or tell yourself stories that are untrue and keep this version of yourself alive. But that stemmed from fear. And so like we went in, I think in detail in pile 1, I'm going to give it here as well, because I feel like there is an identity of a version of a self that is fake, that we understand. And so we attach ourselves to that identity because we believe it to be us. And so therefore, we believe in what that self is telling us. And there is a lack mindset. And there is a mindset here of separation consciousness, because there's no way we'd experience fear unless we thought we were separate from the universe, which we're not, but it is a belief. So if we experience lack, fear, or sadness in some way, or some form of need to control, then we know we are in separation consciousness. So fear comes in many different forms. Anxiety and need to control. I don't know, like fears are just, they form in very many different emotions that come through. But when you strip it all away, it always boils back down to fear. And what does that stem from? It's like, I'm separate from the universe because I have a belief system, that's not true, by the way, that I have control over the outcome of something, that I can control something because I am the controller, when you're not. The universe is in control. It's always unfolding in front of you. Yes, you have free will to make choices as you will, and so you can resist, or you could choose to live in illusion, or you could see the reality that's unfolding in front of you and then consciously make choices based on reality. Or you could keeping stories of the mind and the illusion and living in suffering. Okay, so for suffering, we know we're in illusion, because when we're in reality, there's nothing to suffer from. We're just accepting reality as it is. So I feel like there was a resistance and there was fear, because we were attached to some form of control or a need for an outcome, or something that we were identified with having more power than we actually had, or we believed ourselves to have some ailment that we didn't have. And so it kept us in this lack mindset. So we're seeing through this illusion. We're transforming out of this mindset. And we could have experienced something or someone that has made us see through this illusion of our mind story. But I feel like it's been a long time coming, and I feel like there's a lot of layers to this. And so we're still not stripped away of all the layers, but I feel like we're finally seeing through an illusion of the story we told ourselves, because we were stunted right at the very beginning with this root chakra. And so this resulted, for a lot of you guys, unhealthy ways of coping. Okay, this is distractions. This is shutting people out. This is telling ourselves big untruths, or addictions. Keeping ourselves in some fantasy land, not accepting reality, and thinking our reality was something else that was actually not real. I am the undeserving person here. I can't give or receive. I am this, I am that. Fill in the blank of what you thought you were. You believe that, you kept it up, but it was all fake. It was all fake. So I feel like there was a time of reflection, and there's a time of connecting with the divine, which is in January. We have an aha moment. We see through that self-speak. And now that we see truth and reality, we can transform out of this old version, because we don't need to carry that heaviness of who we thought we were. Okay, this was an egoic belief. And I feel like it also restricted us from feeling empowered to be confident to take action in something, because the fear was keeping us stuck. So the universe was calling you on an adventure, and it was needing you to step inside of this energy that maybe you didn't feel you had, which I feel is confidence, or a need to act, a need to do something. And so in order to do this, we have to clear out all the distortions, the noise, release, cleanse, and be very aware of what resources are in front of me that I can work with. And so are we clinging to resources that brought us down, which are more like hindering? Or are we clinging on to and working with, I should say, like resources here that allow us to make headway and movement? So I feel like we're being awakened to the reality of who we are and what is in front of us, pulling us out of fear so that we can enter towards this adventure. Because an adventure is always where we don't know where it's going to lead, right? In the forest, it could be scary. We could be entering the forest at night, and then there's like all sorts of things that could go wrong. Or we could enter the forest and find the most magical, beautiful adventure and be in fantasy. It could be one or the other. And so we'll only take the risk if we don't have fear and we work with the universe. But if the fear is there, we don't take the chance. We don't even allow ourselves to entertain that adventure. So I feel there's an adventure here. And I feel like maybe you kept seeing the dark in this adventure, or you kept seeing the thing that wouldn't, I don't know, that kept you away. But I feel like it was your fear. It wasn't necessarily that the forest itself that you were seeing clearly. And so I feel like there is an old version of yourself that was creating a lot of confusion in regards, do I or do I not entertain or go explore or go work with, that's going to really transform you as an individual in this area of your life, so that you are open to giving and receiving and experiencing what life has to offer, rather than closing yourself off. You know, because I feel like you didn't want to explore or adventure off because of an experience that left you maybe feeling sad in the past, or I don't know, there's a lot of past getting in the way or preventing pain. So we anticipate, because fear could certainly be an anticipation of some story we tell ourselves in the future. So we have to drop our false self, and the false self is the version of us that upkeeps some illusion, some story, because then we're not dealing with the reality of a situation here. So I feel like there was a choice, okay, and a choice for you to choose something to create stability in your world, because whatever this adventure is, I feel is really tied to your stability, your future, your foundation, something here that I feel is going to be something you could build upon for a long term, okay, like retire on, or build upon a family, your legacy, a business, some long-term committed thing that you can commit to. But it would require you to put an end to whatever stability or unhealthy thing in your world in order to start anew. So starting new is always scary, because it's a period of transformation. We don't know what to expect. We might not want to be a novice. We might not want to risk. Okay, but I feel like there doesn't really matter what you want so much as allowing yourselves to receive what's there in reality is really living in reality. Okay, either we live in reality or we don't. There's no middle ground. And so we can either upkeep the illusion, or we can just accept reality for what it is. And reality was showing you something here that you could build. And so you can resist or fight or run or do whatever you need to, or see it as a big sacrifice to leave some part of your illusion behind. But I feel like in January, it's like, no, like I am starting anew and I'm removing all illusions here, because it was just my fears. It wasn't even a real thing. And now I see myself as this confident energy that can. And maybe for the first time you feel you can, you know, and this is great, because it's like I can bust out of this version of myself, and I can not have to carry this understanding that's weighed me down and that's restricted me from exploring, that's restricted me from building, that's restricted me from feeling very solid. Okay, because I feel like there's something very solid about the number 4 that keeps coming through, the Emperor, you know, the foundation and that stability. But I can't create on anything that is fake or illusion or shaky or false. And so I kept feeling 2 Pentacle, you know, I kept feeling like this isn't a good energy, things up in the air. I can't quite choose or decide. I feel like I cannot, you know, this is like I cannot, like even barefoot, like I don't have the resource, or I'm incapable of, like doing one thing here. And so I keep going back and forth. I'm skinny on resources. I don't have what it takes. And so it never created the foundation, but we're coming out of that. So we're putting an end to that mindset. And I feel like we're now able to align ourselves with the right people, okay, in the right direction, and maybe leave a lot of old versions behind, or align ourselves with the right circumstance and the right opportunity. Because I feel like the new opportunity here is aligning you with a person or a place or a thing that you can move in the right direction to get to where you want to go, which I feel is like foundation, stability, structure, something very rooted, something that flows now, giving, receiving, being open, not stuck, not clogged. And you break out of this mindset, you break out of this illusion, or this, really I feel it is like fear, creating a lack of confidence, or fear in some understanding that you have the ability to do, which is just an illusion. Okay, so now we see this opportunity, and where we might have seen the opportunity as a dark forest, it's now we're seeing the reality. The forest is an adventure here that's going to be beneficial to me because I understand that there's something here that needs to be explored. And this new version of myself allows myself to explore, even though there might be some fear remnants. Okay, but I feel like there is at least an understanding where the confusion stemmed from, and also I feel like maybe where we were thinking there was a huge sacrifice or a giving up something, which is lack mindset, we're now saying, I'm not giving up anything. The thing that stood up was an illusion. And so to give that up or surrender is actually just releasing an illusion. There's nothing being given. If it's an illusion, there's nothing to be taken. There is just accepting the truth for what it is. Okay, and now I can have a beginning and break out of this sort of mindset. So I feel like there was a decision to go explore some journey, like, I don't know, open that business, go explore that relationship, move out of that hometown, explore some unknown. But it was always like, well, the fear just gets in my way. The fear just keeps getting in my way. So let's take a look then for pile number pile 3. Pile 3, Spirit, what is it that this message is pulling through for the energy coming in with the new month ahead for pile number 3? Let's go over here. What am I missing? Clear and concise message here for beautiful pile 3. Any messages they still have, anything they're unclear about, uncertain about, that we can clear up, anything they need to know, guidance, advice, more information, clarity. Thank you so much, Spirit. 7 Pentacles. This is the effort, the energy, the dedication, okay, in order to create something. Look, we see the sun popping out of the clouds. I feel there was confusion. Here's this confusion regarding uncertainty, lack of clarity. So now the clarity is coming. What do I invest in? What am I going to put my energy towards? Well, because I feel there was a held back energy, a resistance to change, okay, that wasn't allowing it some form of transformation to happen in the past. So 9 Pentacles in reverse. So I didn't make myself available, or did I have the resources, or was I confident to pursue or engage? And look, we see trees, more forest. So I couldn't see the forest for the trees, meaning maybe I was really hung up on one aspect. And the aspect was the fear, the fear of the failure. But there was everything else that could have been, I don't know, aligned in some way. But I only saw that one thing. And that one thing didn't allow me to be confident, or that one thing didn't allow me to be available. And it certainly didn't allow me to invest or put energy towards creating what I want. Okay, because I feel there was a lack of confidence, really. The fear was talking. 5 of Cups, and so I missed out, or there was a lot of experience I did not like here. This is sadness, regret, disappointment. So we don't want to emotionally miss out. I feel like we were emotionally not feeling good. 7 Swords. We were upkeeping some illusion of self because it felt safe, or we might have sabotaged ourselves and experience sadness. It's like I'm going to choose the fear rather than allow myself to surrender and see that there's only illusion here, or the mind speak where I thought I was not confident or available because I was making up some story or some understanding why I could not, but it was really the false self. When I peeled all the layers back, it was just a mind speak that was masquerading around here, but it was really fear dressed up as why I couldn't or didn't. Okay, but I feel like we no longer want to be in sabotage mode because all we experienced was some form of sadness. And there's the Queen of Cups in reverse. So I didn't choose what I knew authentically spoke to my heart, or I couldn't open myself up emotionally in a way here that allowed myself to express what I really felt authentically to be me. This is our feelings, compassion, love, okay, intuition. And so I feel like we might have been very, very blocked here and towing some form of inauthenticity when it came to how we could give and receive emotions or love or express oneself. So we might have told ourselves, well, I don't really feel this way, or I can't allow myself to feel this way, or I won't explore this because of fill in the blank. I'm not ready. I'm not, I don't know, not in a position to do so. I'm not confident enough, or I don't have the resource, or something we had to sweep away, some understanding. It's a false understanding. It was creating suffering and sabotage and a burden. And so we transform out of this energy into something that now is getting more clear out of this confusion of what it is I need to invest. Yeah, I didn't want to take the chance, and I just sort of remained held back because the fear was really driving me. So the Fool's all about taking a chance, a risk. Aquarius energy, moving forward despite maybe what we might have experienced in the past, because we might have experienced something in the past that generated this fear. And so that was the mind story. I keep replaying that experience that I had. And so now the great illusion is that this now experience is a repeat or an experience that I already relived. Is that true? Or is that just fear masquerading here? Because we told ourselves we couldn't. Two of Cups. Yeah, for some of you guys, it was like, I refuse to, or I cannot, or mind story of an inability to explore the forest because it's an open adventure, which is a relationship, or show up to something, someone that I emotionally connect with. Because here we have 2 cups. It's like you and this other person or this thing sharing, receiving. It has to be a two-way flow, okay? Rowing in the same direction. But we can't be too fearful. So I feel like we were blocking out something that spoke to us from this fear state. And we're going back and forth and back and forth. So we needed to choose. We might have felt very up in the air. We certainly felt like we didn't have the resources to make it happen. So I'm not confident enough in this. But the big lie here, this is sabotage energy. We were lying to cover up, really, maybe being honest that we really just had fear. Fear of change, fear of allowing someone in, fear of exploring where this could go in case it, I don't know, goes somewhere we don't want. So let's see then. Final message for pile number 3. That's pile 3 then needing to know about this energy for January. Because I do feel like you're amidst this beautiful release, transforming yourself, changing yourself, and seeing through this false belief. And when we let go of the false, the fear falls away. Page of Pentacles. Yes, slow and steady wins the race. And now we can manifest in the 3D something solid. Something solid. The Tower. We let the illusion fall. We're no longer building on the false. 7 Pentacles. 10 Pentacles. And the 9 of Wands. And the Lovers. And 6 Pentacles. That's this receive. So, beautiful people, you're amidst allowing the false self, false story, false thing that you built in your world, that you upcapped because fear was running the show. Okay? Fear was really running the show. And so we might have been very attached to that version of us, which was really a 9 Pentacles in reverse. We were dependent on that version of us. No matter how independent we thought we were, or how free we thought we were, or how much we thought we were calling the shots, really, when we let the illusion fall, we dug and we saw it was really fear. And so I couldn't really manifest the thing here that really spoke to your heart, and that's the 7 Swords. So no matter how much you lied to yourself or told yourself you couldn't or didn't or wouldn't or couldn't, it's like now it's like I can see through this confusion of who I thought I was that I need to invest in a balanced way, allow myself to give and receive in a flow state so I can create the stability of a 10 Pentacles. Again, stability, stability, stability keeps coming through. What I can plan now and work towards is going to be the structure of the future. What I can leave behind as my legacy, my family, my world that I build, my security, something I can commit to for the long term. Okay, this choice is yours. And I feel like we've been on this road for some time. And we might have felt like we didn't want to give up, but we were also very defensive because the fear was keeping us very guarded. And so the choice is here. Okay, that partner, that relationship, that destined business plan or whatever that path, creative thing, the Queen of Cups, creative, passionate heart space that is calling to be pulled in a direction that we resisted. It's like we can invest here now, because I think you can see the illusion that this is the only thing that's going to plan to attend Pentacles. Okay, but it only comes from releasing what is no longer sustainable. Because if we start to build and give to the tower that's already on shaky ground, it's just going to fall away. It's not true. Okay, so we deconstruct with this transformation. We cleanse, we release, and then whatever's left, we see, which is the true version of us, the resources we can work with, the confidence we covered up with fear, because we don't need to go seek the confidence. We don't need to seek anything. Everything's already in you. All you do is you wipe away the fake. You wipe away, or you see through the false, the mind story, the fear, and this allows for change. And now what's left is the truth. And the truth is that you do have the resources. The truth is that you are confident. The truth is you are capable. Truth is you're this beautiful, empowered energy that was carrying a burden for no reason. And you can have success here when you lean into your power, not when you keep feeding the fear, because that's the illusion it kept keeping up. That's very 10 wands, upkeeping this exhausting thing that's about to fall over. The truth doesn't need to be sustained. It stands on its own. Okay, so we don't need to cover it up with unhealthy behaviors or patterns, addictions and resisting and all sorts of things that we were doing to avoid. There's no sacrifice. There's just seeing the truth and making the decision to give and be ready to receive whatever the universe does. We don't resist it. Okay, when you resist, that means you're getting in the way of the universe by trying to change something or fight something. It's like, no, I'll accept it as it is and I will welcome it. Now we're in surrender, exactly as it is. And now we reap the rewards and we experience life for the trueness that it is. That's the blessing. It's a blessing, whether it's sweet or sour, it's reality. And so we should want to live in reality and truth, not in illusion and fear. Okay, that's exhausting. So, beautiful angels, you're entering a period of reality here, and I feel like it is seeing your divinity, your confidence that you're a beautiful being here. And so I feel like you're not stopping yourself anymore. You're allowing yourself to, like, look at this energy, and look at even this rooster energy. Like, this is the energy you're encompassing. Like, I'm going to face this, and I know that I can accomplish this thing. It's not running away or blocking from this fear, So you have the power. Pile number 3. I love you very much. I hope this message resonated for you guys, and I will see you guys at the next reading. Bye-bye.